Now, the second episode type is case studies, and these are also great for further developing that trust between your prospect and your business. And what's great about that is naturally prospects have some sort of skepticism. So yes, they saw how your process works. They saw what it is that you do to achieve results, but a lot of business owners are going to question whether or not that it's actually going to work for them. And one of the ways that they can decide that is by seeing if it's actually worked for other people. And so traditional case studies, a lot of times they highlight the before, they highlight the process, and they highlight the after. Do all of that as well. But what I really want you to focus on is the before and after in these. And so what I would encourage you to do is in the before stage, really get into where that client was. What were they experiencing? What were they going through? What was their current state before you started working with them? And then go through the processes and share what systems or what things that you did to actually help them achieve the results. But don't forget to spend time going over what it was like after these things happened, what the results were like. Now, when you do this correctly, listeners will start to see themselves as your client. They'll start putting themselves in the shoes of your client and seeing themselves get the results. Because a lot of prospects, they have their own objections. They have these excuses. They have these reasons in their head why they can't be successful or why they're not going to be successful working with you. But if you can show them someone who was in a similar position, who had similar challenges, who was in similar circumstances, and they were able to get results through your process, well, all of a sudden that starts to alleviate some of these excuses. That starts to handle some of these objections, and that starts to assuage some of these concerns that people have when they are spending money, when they're investing money on their business or in themselves. And when you've done this part correctly, people will start to eliminate excuses for themselves. They'll start to reduce the objections, and they'll start to come back to you realizing that they can have success with your service, with your product, with your offering. The third episode type is similar to case studies, but this is what we call success stories. And while case studies are there to really highlight the relatability with the client, the relatability with your prospect, success stories are really there to highlight the possibilities. They're there to show what's possible when they work with you. And in a success story, I would spend a lot more time highlighting not only the results that they achieved, but also what those results enabled, what those results allowed. And so people will hire you to take them from A to B. And so, yes, you want to talk about all the things that happened at B. And also, what people aren't always remembering is that once they get to B, once they get to this next place, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities to go to C, D, E, F, wherever it is that they want to go. And so don't only just focus on what were the results that you help them to create, but also help them to see what are the possibilities now that they have in front of them because they've worked with you, because they've achieved these results. All of a sudden, not only have they achieved great results, but now the possibilities and the upside for them is even more than when they started. Now, both case studies and success stories can be done with the guests there live. It's very easy to just invite them on, ask them questions so that the listener can hear directly from the source, if you will, what actually happened. Or it can be done as a solo episode where you're really able to dive in at a much deeper level and explain things both from the client's perspective and also from what you were doing as well. Because what we're trying to do with these episodes is hit people both from a logical perspective and also an emotional perspective. Because they think about things, they consider purchases with logic, but ultimately it's the emotion that puts them over the edge. And so when you can achieve both by showing them someone who's like them, getting success and results that they want, now all of a sudden there's an emotional charge there, and there's an emotional motivation that gets someone to want to take action.